Live from Seahawks Stadium at Anacortes High School in Anacortes, Washington, this is Seahawks Soccer on AHS Live.
Welcome to Rice Field for tonight's Northwest Conference League game between the visiting Sedro-Woolley Cubs and your Anacortes Seahawks. We'd like to remind you that interscholastic events are an extension of the classroom, and that lessons are best learned when the proper respect is accorded to all. Please let your good sportsmanship
Absolutely, we'll go down for the lineups
tonight's
now.
game. And now, let's meet tonight's starting lineups. For the Sedro-Woolley Cubs, number 1, Jace Hilsinger. Number 2, Andrew Bates. Number 3, Parker Nelson. Number 4, Jacob Jefferson. Number 5, Jay Manzo. Number 6, Max Porter. Number 8, Giovanni Contreras. Number 9, Josiah Villegas. Number 11, Emmett Mihalik. Number 14, Leo Valdez Ramon. Number 15, Noah Castillo Lopez. What's that? Oh, yeah, they were not. Oh, let's see. Number 12, Caden Todd. And number 13, Jonathan Salinas. That's not started. Let's see. And now the starting lineup for your Anacortes Seahawks. Number 2, Aiden Santos. Number 4, Noah Hunter. Number 8, Aiden Pinson. Number 9, Cooper Barton. Number 11, Lucas Hopkins. Number 12, Aaron McClellan. Number 32, Matthew Rutz. Number 20, Connor Barton. Number 33, James McClellan. And number 22, Caden Jacobson. And in goal, Caleb Nelson. The Sedro-Woolley Cubs, the head coach for the Sedro-Woolley Cubs is Natalie Sakuma, assisted by William Boyd, Pat Huggins, Tim Jeffley, and Brandon Constantine. Head coach for your Seattle Seahawks, Anacortes Seahawks is Darren Bell, assisted by Ross Ramsdell. The referees for tonight's match are Jeff Lablin in center, assisted by Heiko Miles and Robert Martin. Now please, would you all rise and join me as we do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, bringing you back here into the booth. We're excited for this matchup. A little chilly out tonight, but hopefully the boys will get warmed up quickly and go and get a goal early in this matchup. And we've already made our grammar mistakes for the first half, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to see it.
Yeah, I'm going to pretend that didn't happen and go back to the weather. The rain held off on us tonight, and I'm sure all the players are happy about that. Everybody was walking out with their umbrellas and jackets earlier. So we're lucky the field is dry today, more traction, less fun to watch perhaps, but definitely more enjoyable for the fans and the players.
No doubt. Of course, Anacortes coming into this game sitting at 3-4, decent record. Not obviously what they'd love to see, but better than Sedro-Woolley's faring right now. They're sitting at 1-8, so they are clearly an underdog in this contest. We'll see if they can pull off an upset here on the road against a fairly decent Anacortes team.
They brought a fair few fans today, which will certainly play to their advantage. They have that enthusiasm coming from the crowd.
So Woolley getting set here. They'll get the tip off in this first half of action, and Anacortes will respond 40 minutes later.
That choosing of side, we don't know who won the coin toss, but I'm curious if Anacortes won and chose to give up the ball and instead pick their starting side to avoid the sunset. It is cloudy, but that's oftentimes a big factor today.
You can never be too careful.
No, you can't see anything from that other side on a clear night.
Immediately here, Anacortes starting to get something going, even though Sedro had the opening hold on the ball. Possession was quickly taken away. A little nudge there by Santos, getting aggressive early on. You love the energy, but perhaps tone it to a degree that allows for no ref chatting him up, as is going on right now. Nevertheless, we'll continue here. Goal kick set up for Woolley.
Hopefully that doesn't set a tone of aggression here for the rest of the night. We saw an aggressive game last time, but not necessarily like a dirty play, I guess.
Pinson's looking outside. Jacobson and Hawkins working together. Back to Hunter this time. Now Jacobson will look towards Rutz. Again, Pinson cutting through Woolley players. Outside now, grounder from Hawkins goes straight into the hands of the goalie. He'll go ahead and boot it up towards half field, where it's met by a Woolley player as well as Matthew Rutz, getting back to the feet of Connor Barton, who will just defer it to Nelson. Now a sprint coming out from the Woolley boy. A lot of energy early on from both teams. Anacortes seems to be a little more honed in with their activity and the way they're scaling the field. Sedro a little more jumpy, but nevertheless they've allowed themselves to get the ball back here, and whatever works for your squad.
This is probably a little bit of an adjustment for Sedro, as they normally play on grass, I believe. I could be wrong about that, but when we've played at their field, it is a massive grass complex, and our boys here at home on the turf.
They're going to go ahead and call that. Ref will have a couple words with Jacobson, although the Sedro player ironically gave him a tap on the back, showing some early love, saying, hey, that's no problem. That was Castillo Lopez in the little tussle with Caden Jacobson. But a free kick will be awarded here, as Leo Valdez Ramon will take his free kick for Woolley, seeing Wolfie Stroshine come in off the bench for Anacortes quickly. I think they had to sub him in for Jacobson. He was told he had to leave momentarily. Nelson will just roll this one out to Brar after the fairly easy save. Brar trying to keep it in bounds, does so, but now it's back in the possession of Woolley. Working in the midfield now.
We see both the McClellans in and Connor Barton right now. Brian Barr taking the other side, where we have seen the other Barton brother. It's a little bit of a switch up for Anacortes. They're perhaps starting some players that haven't played as much throughout the rest of the season.
The Twins working together. A little shove from Hunter there. They'll give him a free kick for that exchange. Parker Nelson on the other side of that one. Got a little force put into him, but Sedro will keep on rolling here, try to get something going. Their offense has steadily been moving upfield since the start of the game, and now even closer to the 18-yard box than previous. Hunter just rejects that one with his head, and Nelson calls that out of bounds. Good read from Caleb Nelson. He'll take a goal kick here.
Hopefully we don't see the aggression continue throughout the game tonight. I think what we've seen so far could have been accidental. It's still possible that was just sort of falling players into another. But as the night goes on, we'll have to see whether that becomes more intentional.
Yeah, definitely out of the gate to contrast the two sides. This is a little redundant from what I said earlier, but Anacortes is seeming to come out a little bit more melodically, although Santos is proving me wrong as I speak here. He was really charging down the sideline there, and Anacortes will get their first throw-in of the evening. But again, sort of a more calm presence from Anacortes. They know this field, they know where they're at, and it's easier for them to survey the playing field as opposed to the visiting Cubs. Nice ball there from Santos, straight into the box. And a bicycle kick-ish without the backwards jump there.
We have seen that from Pinson before. He likes his style.
If that's any indication, the junior veteran, Aiden Pinson, sure knows what he's doing out there on the soccer field. Fairly elementary pickup there for Nelson. He's going to take his time with this one and send it right back. Good header there from Sedro. Now having to defer once again, looking back outside for one of the McClellan brothers. Stroshine getting his first action of the game. Excuse the interruption, Cooper. Didn't want to take your thought away, but
Yeah, we had the same thought.
huge sprinting action from Santos here.
Oh.
Sliding straight into the fists of the goalie there. Quite a contested ball that was.
We saw in the replay there, Aiden may have been going from the ball, but the refs will typically lean towards the goalie in those types of situations because they've got their face and everything down there. So
Intercepted by Hunter, keeping it up. Now looking for help from Pinson. But Hunter's still chasing it down here. He'll look outside to Santos. Made a bit of an ill-advised cut there. And it's back in the possession of the Cubs. And once again, seeing another change of possession. A bullet from Pinson too far outside. Didn't quite have a strong enough angle there. But you really see the leg power he possesses off of that shot. That flew past the net.
we've seen already three actually goal attempts, which sort of is reflected in the records of the two teams. We obviously haven't seen any scoring, but Anacortes probably does have more time in possession of the ball so far this game.
Anacortes starting to bring a little more defensive pressure here, especially on Sedro's side of the field. Trying to really get something going on offense. Something legitimate, that is to say. They've had an offense going here, but to actually mark that offensive potential on the scoreboard is what they're looking for at this point. Brian Brar going to go ahead and throw this one in. Nice attempted trap by Jay Manzo of the Cubs, but Santos just muscled right through him. Now Stroshine on the other side looking for Pinson. The deflection off of Bats gets it back to Pinson. He's looking inside. Rutz with a shot. A grounder, and it's in! Just 8.5 minutes into this game, and the sophomore stud, Matthew Rutz, has opened this lane up with a quick score.
We saw Anacortes, even on offense, playing calmly as they do, controlling the ball between several players, and that's certainly been their strong suit between this game and the last game, is working the field rather than trying to power it through like a running back.
Definitely taking it an inch at a time, and just trying to find the next man upfield rather than looking towards the goal the entire time.
Absolutely. There's no shot clock on soccer, so when why blow your opportunity when you're that far down?
Santos a little frustrated with that one. He thought he was going to be able to get through him, but his last touch there just rolled a little too far right, took it out of bounds, and a goal kick here for the Cubs coming up. again, what we're seeing a lot of here is off these free kicks and goal kicks for Sedro. They're blasting the ball upfield, and rightly so, trying to keep it away from having to play any defense and keep it up on Anacortes' side of the ball. But these free kicks are going straight to Anacortes players in the middle of the field, and they're retaining possession quite easily.
We see, as last game we were commenting on how young the Anacortes team is, the same thing reflected on the Sedro roster here. They've got, 2 seniors, which I think we may have 3, but it's a good mix of freshmen and sophomores on both sides. I guess both teams potentially strong in the future, lower in the league right now.
Bit of an exciting chase down there between Connor Barton and the Sedro player, but Anacortes came out on top, at least momentarily. Now McClellan will look. Upfield, it's Santos now, working on the edge as usual. This time he is able to scream past that defender. Hunter trying to get to the ball before it goes out of bounds. He will. Good save from Noah Hunter. Now Rutz looking towards Hawkins in the middle. He's just going to boot it towards the goal, just a little far right. Not a bad shot there from Hawkins. And Anacortes, you can see in their passing and their shooting, really starting to get comfortable here, and trying to open it up. Just trying to take advantage of any opportunity they have, and it's a credit to them for not being afraid to fail on these shots.
We saw a similar thing as we did on the first goal of the night, with a cross into the middle, received sort of on that left edge of the box, and I'm sure Sedro is learning to close that gap at this point, but they'll keep using that strategy for as long as they can. Anacortes certainly likes to run it up the wings. They've got Aiden Santos on one side, Lucas, Aiden Pinson, all very fast players capable of making those breakaways.
I think Sedro-Woolley is really only being able to maintain possession away from tying this up. If they can just keep their feet on the ball for longer periods of time, as the Seahawks have been doing thus far, offensively they've shown us that they can get downfield and create shot opportunities. It's just going to be a matter of stopping the Seahawks from retaliating and getting the ball back offensively for them.
Absolutely, and we've got that sort of composed defense that likes to work the ball and stay spread out. And so we saw the ball, I believe, go offsides there, but that type of through ball could be the type of thing to break our defense, as they do less running and more thinking. So the speed of play would be to Sedro's advantage.
Ball from Jefferson there, sails out of bounds. Good header there from Lopez, who's now in the middle of the field, trying to run it past Hunter. Good rejection there from Hunter. It will be the Cubs' ball, but Noah Hunter holding his ground there in the midfield. Good header there from Sedro, but falling back into the feet of one of the McClellan boys. And he'll boot that out of bounds again for another Sedro throw.
I'd love to know what the tent is for they've got going on over there. That looks like the best way to wait out the weather.
It seems to be a singular person tent. I'm not actually sure who's in there, but whoever it is, they've clearly earned special privileges over the rest of the team, because I'm not sure how much more cozy you get than that. If they have a mug of hot chocolate, that's probably maxed out.
That is a 10 on the scale. We did see a player, I couldn't tell who, but getting checked out before the game, so that might be someone with a small injury down there.
Free kick here for Sedro. High ball towards Nelson. He botched the pickup, and Sedro had a second chance opportunity momentarily, but it was cleared out well by the Seahawk defenders there.
Nelson's been struggling a little bit this game with his hands, and you got to wonder if that's just because he's seen less activity. Usually he's pretty intermixed with the defense, bouncing shots back and forth. He might be getting kind of chilly down there.
Yeah, definitely. Hard to keep those hands warm when you're not seeing a lot of action. Not that he would necessarily be complaining about a lack of pressure as a goalie, but there is definitely a sense of urgency involved in staying warm out there. Truly, it sounds mundane and sort of lacks importance, but it's really all in the hands of the goalkeeper, and if you can't keep him warm, then things like that last play we saw where he let go of the ball there, those are going to continue to happen. Corner kick here for Sedro.
We see Caden Jacobson returning to the field here. His aggressiveness might be a great asset for a corner.
Nelson's going to get that one off and try to move Anacortes in the same direction Sedro's now been playing. Good 1-2 action here from Hunter and Rutz. Now he's going to look upfield for Hawkins. Looking for a chip shot. Now Pinson trying to chase that one down before it goes out of bounds. Can't reach it in time. And a goal kick will be awarded to Sedro-Woolley. Really nice play there by Anacortes to get it upfield. But at the last second, the defense for Sedro-Woolley able to clamp down and stop Hawkins from creating any legitimate passes. Now Jacobson fighting off a couple defenders, looking for the left foot shot. I shouldn't say that with such surprise. He is, of course, left foot dominant. Maybe the only one on the team, actually. But that one goes right off the left corner post, sailing out of bounds. And once again, we're back at a goal kick for Sedro. Couple subs coming in here. Notably, number 12, Caden Todd, taking that right side position where Hawkins is generally lying. Right now, you see him in the center of the field, but he's over there quite often. Good header from Hunter to set up none other than Hawkins, but now Sedro with the ball again, chased down by the man whose name I've repeated too many times in the span of 10 seconds, Lucas Hawkins. Now a through ball looking for Stroshine. He'll look for a ground crosser and easily read and cleared by Max Porter there.
Wolfie there is showing his dexterity by switching sides. I'm getting a funny look from Michael for that one. I hope I use that word correctly. But he was on the left wing just minutes ago, and now he's playing on the right wing. So,
in all honesty, I feel embarrassed that my vernacular is not up to par with Cooper's.
Okay, shut up.
Hawkins looked for a header, and Sedro just trying to trap that one in the corner there. Looks like they'll give it back to the Cubs. Now seeing a substitution for the Seahawks. The younger Barton brother, Cooper, coming in to help his brother out defensively there in the back four.
I'm not sure when Tyga Shore came in, but that also happened. He was defending the ball there.
Well, he may have just come in on that small substitution exchange. Good read from Hawkins, but too close to the end line, or the edge line, excuse me, to create something with that interception. Now another throw-in for the Cubs. Looking far upfield, good header from Sedro, but it falls straight to Connor Barton. But now Sedro once again moving upfield. They've got some speed on the edges there. That's Josiah Velagas. I should have prefaced that with the possibility that my pronunciation was terribly off. But we'll just keep on plowing forward here. Porter looking upfield, met by Connor Barton. A little too much on that one for Stroshine to get to in time.
We seem to be playing kind of a game of headers here, particularly on the throw-in and the free kicks. But a number of times it's looked like they really clocked heads, so hopefully nobody's coming home with big bruises. It's hard to tell from up here.
Good play there from Pinson, setting up his teammates well. Looking forward again now, Shore to Jacobson. He's going to boot it upfield, but it's met there by Munzo. Hawkins keeping that one in bounds well. Now Cooper back to Hawkins. Anacortes really passing with intent right now, looking sophisticated but controlled in their movement. Stroshine trying to get upfield. And that one's going to be cleared in favor of Sedro. Looks like Stroshine had the last touch on that one. Great play there from Jay Manzo.
We're seeing no shortage of goal kicks from the Cubs tonight. They're getting that dialed in, I'm certain.
Caden Jacobson with a slip there, still maintaining possession of the ball. Nice grounder through the Sedro defense to set up Pinson. He looks to take a shot, grounder too far left. Good setup from Jacobson, however. Pinson, you see just not a lot of options there. Really mashed up with Shore, and Jacobson behind him had really only a couple options there, and he elected to shoot it.
We see them in practice a lot, shooting those ground shots, which, in my opinion, are the hardest to defend as a goalie. And we've seen them use them in the game so far. But eventually that's going to pay off for them, because it's a lot harder to catch the ball on the ground with a dive than it is out of the air.
You see Nelson well out of his box on that last exchange. Matthew Rutz getting a little rough with the player there. Gives him a small shoulder shrug after the fall of Jacob Jefferson. And now a free kick discussion occurring here between Sedro players.
Perhaps.
It seems to be.
Gonna do a fake out or something?
Yeah, just strategizing here how they want to approach this. And just a grounder straight to Ramon. He's going to send it a little far left. Nelson luckily didn't have to chase that one down. He did, and he will to the fence. But a pretty decent setup there by Sedro.
That was all that strategy meeting there. I'm sure that's exactly how they intended it.
Now Barton on the far side can't keep that one in bounds. And looks like Jefferson will take the throw in here. Now with Ramon in the middle and Jefferson, last touch coming off of a Cub. Cooper Barton to throw this one in.
I'm not sure how new a development this is, but we're seeing and play today without masks, which I'm sure the players are thankful for. Do you remember if that was the case last game?
Well, I believe, and this is pretty much universally for athletics, you're supposed to start the match or game or whatever the correct vocab may be considering your sport. You're supposed to start the endeavor with a mask on, and then basically it just loosens up after that. There's not really any reason to keep them on at that point. At least that's the thought process that the WIAA has put forth. So once the game has started, they allow players to remove the masks.
The McClellans here are working together as they do in that triangle formation in the back.
Bit of a save there from James McClellan. Sedro was pressuring well. Now Pinson, good clearance there for the Cubs. McClellan just let that one roll out. As we see a substitution bringing the starter Brian Brar on the right back position there back in for the younger Barton Cooper. Good contest there from Nelson. Looking forward now, Jefferson still trying to look forward. Caden Jacobson with a boot. Pinson didn't quite know where that one was, couldn't blame him. And Ramon now looking towards the midfield. Jacobson hustling this one down.
We see some rapid fire play here. They're leaving Stroshine and Pinson up in the front, hoping to clear it up as we've seen a couple times. That one,
Yep, there you go. Exactly what they're going for there. Good chip towards Rutz. He's taking a fall. Now on the outside, Brian Brar meets Josiah Villegas.
Playing way up the field here as he is a defender.
Now inside again. Rutz, Shore, and Jacobson keeping pressure here on Valdez Ramon. Again, the McClellan brothers keeping that defensive structure as strong as can be.
We really haven't seen them pass all the way back to Nelson as much this game. It may just be, a lack of necessity, but they've been working more defender to defender than going all the way back.
Quick throw in. Caden Jacobson now past a couple defenders, looking to defer to Pinson once again. Just outside to the left goes the ball from Aiden Pinson. Jacobson really did all he could there. Got past both of Sedro's defenders, was inside the box, and possibly another opportunity upcoming as Anacortes getting the ball back quickly after that goal kick. And Jacobson again with the ball this time. Hunter Richardson tracks him down well. Gets it back to Sedro. Little miscommunication there for the Seahawks, but they will get the ball back to Nelson.
Quite a boot from Nelson there all the way up to Stroshine.
Now Rutz again looking toward the midfield for Hawkins, who's found Pinson. Now Jacobson. And they're going to call this a free kick for Sedro. And we'll see a substitution here. Dawson Mills coming in for the Cubs.
Trying to catch the number on the Anacortes player here up in front. He's coming this way. Would that be Hayden Baumgartner?
Oh, that's Dylan Thomas.
Oh, there we go.
Wasn't looking in the right spot for a moment there.
Hell, he has some pretty fresh cleats going on there. Everybody's going to know what Dylan Thomas is doing tonight.
Well, he definitely has earned the right to wear them. He may just be the fastest player on that team. His sprint integrity is really strong. His ability to hold out a sprint for long periods of time is beyond impressive. As we see the senior Garcia trotting on, he'll go ahead and take this throw in. Little past Jacobson there. Andrew Batts looked to have known it, and he just takes the throw in quickly. Some nice moves there from Emmett Mihalik. And now on the far side, it's Barton trying to keep it up. Brian Barr now getting chased down. Not sure he knew it. Good interception there. And continual pressure here from Parker Nelson, who it is important to point out is one of the starting freshmen here for Sedro. Handled himself well up there offensively for the Cubs. Now a goal kick for Anacortes, something we haven't seen particularly often here in the first half of play.
Our graphic is not working seemingly tonight, but we have 8 minutes left in this half for those of you at home. And while Anacortes isn't up a lot, you do see a sort of a lack of urgency from their side. I think they want to play a consistent game instead of leaving too many opportunities for mistakes. They're trying to take it slow but keep it controlled.
Now Dylan Thomas darting in, as he does, trying to get something going here before the end of the halftime. Usually in the last 5 minutes, that's when teams start to get a little sloppy, a little lackadaisical. We'll see which team can take advantage of it. Thomas barreling down the field. The kickback straight to the foot of Baumgartner. And it's going to be a goal kick. Very interesting action happening down there near the 18-yard box for Sedro. Thomas came to swoop in, and the sort of no-look heel tap from the Sedro defender left it in the hands, or rather the feet of Hayden Baumgartner, but couldn't quite finish there for the Hawks.
We're seeing the Hawks break through the defense fairly often, but we do see the Sedro defense being really careful with their positioning, and it's been saving them on multiple occasions as they've been cutting off the lanes, I guess, to the middle. We saw Pinson take 2 shots just to the left of the goal earlier, and that's because the Sedro defense is intentionally inside, taking away that shot opportunity.
Now Jacobson upfield once again. He'll look to cross in. Switching fields completely. Hayden Baumgartner trying to chase this one down. Still in bounds here. Now Barton. And for one of the first times, as Cooper mentioned earlier, he will in fact defer to Nelson, who will now switch fields to Garcia on the near side here. Now Garcia looking for Jacobson. Can he get there before Batts? Great hustle from both players. And it looks as though a corner kick to come here. Hawkins finally finds himself in the position of having to take this one on.
There's an interesting setup for Anacortes. They're all in the backfield, potentially trying to run in, create more confusion.
Thomas sort of the lone ranger there in the far inside penalty box. Don't know why that sentence took me so long to come up with, but finally got it out. Anacortes still in position to score here. Dawson Mills facing down Matthew Rutz. Right now, Mills has the advantage. He'll boot one far for Parker Nelson, who looks to have some speed over Barton, but the strength and technique of Connor Barton wins out this time. You see the difference in handling of the ball there between a freshman and a junior. Connor's seen more high school action than the Sedro player, Parker Nelson. And it paid off there momentarily. Now, Tyga Shore in a tussle here for the ball. Hayden Baumgartner's got a break. He'll look to cross towards Thomas. Met well there by the Sedro defender. And Matthew Rutz will keep this one going. They'll finally call something.
Thankfully, we've seen a little bit of a decline in the physicality of the game since that first 5 minutes that left us wondering, but it's been a fairly clean game since then.
Jefferson, who looks to be wearing a captain's sleeve there, finally coming out for Woolley, bringing back in Leo Valdez-Ramon. Connor's just going to shank this one, try to get it as deep into the box as he could. He succeeded in his placement, but the capitalization on the other half of the exchange there from Jacobson was ill-prepared, and nothing offensively came out of it. Now a goal kick for Sedro, which feels to be the most prominent narrative, if there was one, to pick out of a hat. Tyga Shore trying to switch fields here. Dylan Thomas gets a bad touch, but now recovers with the help of a teammate. Lucas Hawkins gets bumped a little bit. Shrugs it off. Keeps on moving. Now Rutz looking inside again, scooped up there by the goalkeeper.
Dylan Thomas, subbed in here just a few minutes ago, has been doing a great job of receiving the crosses from the wings here, and we've seen him already have a couple of opportunities that didn't quite work out, but it's interesting that we don't see him on the field more often.
Gonna get a free kick here for Sedro. The ref saying something about the shoulder movement of Nelson that apparently put Parker Nelson, the Sedro gentleman, in harm's way there momentarily. So now you're seeing Max Porter set up to take a kick. I wonder if they'll go for that same strategy they had last time, just a grounder. And they won't. Header coming from Nelson. That one just above the post. From the angle up here, it almost looked as though it was inside.
Thought we lost that one for a second. Now, just stoppage time left in the half, so we should see the whistle any minute here. Still to come a corner kick for the Cubs.
Nice punch out from Nelson. Now Baumgartner with the ball, trying to get as far upfield as he can. Brouwer clears it out. And now the rain really beginning to fall here on the field.
That sure did happen fast. You can hear it on the tin roof down here. It's
not sure.
We're going to be soaked in a few minutes.
Not sure if it's noticeable for for viewers at home from the cameras as they currently stand, but we can see it clearly from up here in the booth.
Whoever's in that tent
Yeah,
is having a good day.
Yeah, they're doing well. I'm not sure if these boys think they're playing soccer, but at this point it seems like they've switched to swimming because it is a wetland out here. But that's all right. They'll wrap up the halftime with a 1-0 lead. We'll take a quick break here, come back with a breakdown of the first half, and get you going on the next 40 minutes of this game. Don't go anywhere, folks.
Remember, an unanswered call is no complaint at all.
Pretzel crust is back at Little Caesars.
Yep, people loved it so much they brought it back.
They actually listened to their customers.
We're not Big Pizza, we're Little Caesars. And Pretzel Crust is back with a cheddar cheese sauce and a soft pretzel crust for just $6.
Pizza, pizza. At the Senior College, we believe that learning should never stop. Anacortes Senior College offers lifelong learning opportunities to adults over 50 in a relaxed atmosphere. No test or homework. ASC is ran by volunteers including retired college professors, scientists, artists, business and medical professionals. Fall, winter, and spring courses are held Tuesdays and Thursdays. For more information and registration forms, go to seniorcollege.org.
Go a few blocks into Old Town Anacortes and you'll find Dad's Diner. With breakfast and lunch served all day, you'll definitely find the perfect meal. All of their food is prepared fresh each day, from the delicious house salad with salmon to the savory BLT. Dad's Diner, open Tuesday through Sunday, is located on Commercial between 9th and 10th Street. Come on down and grab a bite.
Kennelly Keys Music in Anacortes is your one-stop shop for all your musical needs. As a full-service music retailer, Kennelly Keys offers everything from sales and rentals to music lessons and repairs. Whatever you need, Kennelly Keys Music has you covered. Visit our website at kennellykeysmusic.com, follow us on Facebook, or stop by the store and speak with our knowledgeable staff. And make sure to check out our new music hall. Kennelly Keys Music, located at 1904 Commercial Avenue in Anacortes.
Behind every great Anacortes club and team, there's an unspoken hero. People that get us our team gear, organize our team dinners, and support us in everything else we need. From every student athlete in AHS, thank you Saba for the football team's two-a-day shirts, the volleyball team's warm-up gear, and everything else in between. Saba, the Seahawk Athletic Booster Association.
Each year, thousands of fantastic pictures are taken by yearbook photographers of AHS sporting events, assemblies, performing arts, and more. The best of these photos are now available to you online. Just point your browser to ahs.smugmug.com. You can download digital images or order prints right from your computer or phone with the SmugMug app. How cool is that? Support the rhododendron and your students by using ahs.smugmug.com.
Here. The Action Club is a
Welcome back for our halftime breakdown, folks. We saw one goal in the first half by Anacortes, scored by Matthew Rutz. Otherwise, we've seen Anacortes with control throughout most of the half, but certainly retaliation from Sedro. This is by no means a one-sided game.
Absolutely not. And the interesting thing is, as we mentioned early on here, theoretically, you would think on paper Sedro definitely is the underdog, but they've played really well here, only down by 1, and they're clearly still in the hunt to win this game because, especially in the end of that first half, they really started to come into their own and get some offensive opportunities going, started rolling down the stretch there. If they can keep that momentum moving forward and take advantage of what seemed to be a little confusion in that back line with an interesting lineup there between both the twins, Connor Barton and Brian Brar. If they can break through that wall, you know this is going to be a really fun half to watch.
Absolutely, and we've seen Sedro sort of getting their feet under them. They're a young team with not a ton of experience, but they've exposed their speed, particularly their right offensive player is, I wish I could drop the name for you, but is very fast. And so the skill is there. We'll see if they sort of learn the Anacortes ways and come back here.
I think Anacortes overall has done a little better of a job opening up passing lanes and sharing the ball between players. Sedro, overall, it's hard to analyze their tactics because they've really spread the ball in a variety of ways over that first half. But I think one underlying position you may argue is that when they're having success, it's from sort of blasting the ball upfield and hoping for the best, sort of crossing their fingers. And a lot of times the speed of guys like you were saying, the freshman Parker Nelson or Dawson Mills that we saw at the end of the half on those wings, when they find those blasted balls upfield and they can get their feet on them quickly, they have the speed to penetrate that defensive line and get inside, create scoring opportunities. But so far they haven't been able to put one in the net. Of course, they got plenty of time to do it here in the second half. And if they play any similar to the way they did in that first half, I believe at some point they're probably going to break through.
Without a doubt. The eighth ocean is breaking loose from the skies here. So hopefully that'll let off before the end of half. But we're going to sit down here and watch some replays while the players prepare for this next 40 minutes.
2.5 minutes and counting till we get back to the action. At this point, it doesn't look as though the rains are going to let up. The clouds are telling us otherwise, but that's all right. We're going to keep on rolling here. Unfortunately for the players, how am I trying to phrase this? Cooper and I, let's just get real. We're the lucky ones, right? Shout out. Well, let's just do it right now. Shout out to the broadcast club, because they're out there in the rain, holding their cameras, probably freezing, and we're sitting here like white bread getting toasted in our
Very
little
true.
booth.
There's a heater up in here for anybody that didn't know, which there is not down on the field. Hopefully they've got some garbage bags for the cameras or something. I don't know how they prepare for that. But everybody that brought an umbrella is happy now. Everybody who brought a tent is living large down there on the other side of the field.
We still don't know the identity of the individual practically living inside that tent, but whoever they are, we think
we'd like one. We'll do an interview.
We may just have to. I think it's fairly easy to predict that their emotions are more stable than those of the actual players. I'm not sure how warm it is in there, if there's any sort of insulation device, but you can't help but be happy that you're not wet if I'm the guy in the tent.
Yeah, you get the sleeping bag going. I liked your idea with the hot chocolate there. They've even got a window. It looks slightly transparent from up here.
It is. It does. But, well, now that you bring up hot chocolate, we may have to start bringing that up to the booth, because I tell you, I could use some clearing of the throat, whether it be through chai tea, hot chocolate, maybe something a little stronger. Who knows?
Well,
Sedro starting to warm up here. Don't want their players to be going on the field cold.
Before we totally leave the topic of food, we'll shout out to our sponsor, Little Caesars here, who provides us with pizza before every game. So thank you for that.
It is definitely well received. But back on the topic of soccer, which is what you're here to see. Kind of got off track there. The buzzer blows as if on cue. Refs coming back out. Also,
They don't look happy to be here.
I didn't even think about the refs. They've got to be really feeling it. I mean, you know, they get to run around a little bit, but particularly the sideline boys, the flaggers. I mean, they're not doing a whole lot of movement, and you've got to think that's somewhat painful for them.
We were noticing earlier that they've gone back to yellow. They took a temporary hiatus and were lime green, but they didn't like that, and we didn't either, so we're glad they're back to yellow. I don't know what happened to the zebra jerseys. Those seem to be a thing of the past.
Well, as you can see, I think we're all in agreement that the second half needs to get started soon, because Cooper and I are running out of legitimate things to say. And now it's becoming a serious issue. We'll see the players swap fields here, and Anacortes will get the tip during this second half of play, as we discussed earlier, trying to bump their lead up to a little more comfortable margin. Obviously, 2-0 isn't that much stronger than 1-0. Really, a formidable lead would have to be at least 3 or 4, especially against a Sedro team who's been playing really well here thus far. But 2 is always more comfortable than 1, and right now, if I'm on the Seahawks, I'm not thinking about, you know, wrapping up this game. I'm thinking about trying to score again, because the Cubs are in no way, shape, or form out of this.
No, we are not safe yet, but they're looking to maintain control of the ball and not get sloppy, I suppose. We're seeing just a little bit of light over towards Washington Park here. Clouds moving to the east, so maybe the rain will stop in a little while.
And now it is Woolley coming out of the gate immediately. Jefferson took control of the ball quickly after Pinson brought it down to Hunter. He tried to send it back upfield, and Jefferson met it there. Now Hunter, after the header, trying to set up something to keep the defense off this ball. Switching fields here. It's Santos on Josiah Villegas. He'll get it back to McClellan. Russ trying to look inside rather than leave Santos out in no man's land on the edge there. And now Tiger Shore making a move here. Trying to get a grounder into the box. Cleared well by Andrew Batts.
Should see a corner coming up here. A great opportunity to widen their lead. Looks like Noah Hunter will be taking that one.
Again, sort of an interesting formation here. Really only Lucas Hawkins sitting in the middle of the action, although now we see Short coming up. So we'll just see a short kick from Hunter. Little triangle action here from the Seahawks. Well played. Jacobson, little far on that touch, but he does get it inside. And it's perfectly placed for the goalie to scoop it up off of a slider.
That's the second time tonight we've seen a corner go short just to Jacobson. It hasn't worked out for them yet, but I'm eager to see what the end goal is with that, because there's definitely something more at play than the typical just, boot into the middle and hope for the best.
So now the Cubs with a throw-in inside. Didn't get the right touch off there. Santos now getting some help from Rutz. Can't keep it in bounds. This will be Caden Todd taking the throw in. Santos. Good play there from Aiden to box out Villegas. And looks as though a free kick will be awarded to Santos. Possibly some aggressive holding there off the throw-in from Villegas. I digress. Connor Barton here to take this free kick. They'll send it towards the middle. Good header from Rutz. Beautiful ball, just not high enough to clear the head of the goalie there. For just half a moment, I thought Rutz was about to have his second. Pressure well coming here from Aaron McClellan. Excuse me, James McClellan. I knew I was going to do it at some point and mix up the twins.
They are a little bit hard to tell apart. I've just learned recently, after many, many years.
Jacobson hustling to the outside. Forgive the interruption, Cooper. But Jacobson tried to make something happen there. Got close, but again, didn't have the angle. We're seeing that a bunch here, not only in this beginning of the second half, but in the first half as well. Anacortes was getting downfield, outside on the wings, and whether it be Santos, Jacobson, or Pinson, they couldn't quite get enough cushion off of that back sideline to get a pass into the middle without it just rolling out of bounds.
We've seen Jacobson time and time again be a real asset as a left-footed player out on the wing there. It's really difficult for a right-footed player to cross into the middle from that side, and so he's oh man, the ball is in the ditch. That is a swamp right now, so someone is going to have to go on a real adventure to get that one back.
The throw in here for the Seahawks. Noah Hunter and Caden Jacobson trying to trap the Sedro Cub there. And they'll do it well enough to earn themselves another throw in. Jacobson's going to huck this one into the middle where Rutz tries to get a header off. And now Santos challenging Villegas. Little pulling of the shirt there, but not enough to catch the ref's eye. He'll slide tackle for this one. Good effort there from Santos.
We see Aiden here, a powerhouse as he always is. He does a spectacular job of kind of focusing in on the ball, but unfortunately that, I would not want to be the offender when Aiden is playing defense is what I'm trying to say, because he doesn't really take casualties. He just makes plays.
Getting some words here from the ref as that matchup, Josiah Villegas and Aiden Santos, has been a prominent one to watch all night long, particularly in the start of the second half. As we're seeing some added discussion here between players. Possibly a forced showing of sportsmanship that the ref is putting down on the two players.
Unfortunately, we're unable to get you the tight shot here because our field cameras are trying not to be destroyed by the rain. So we're up in the stands under cover here, getting the two wide shots.
Hopefully that discussion with the ref stops any further aggressive play. Well, too aggressive of play. Because, of course, you've got to be competitive and use your body in a game like this. Jacobson on a fast break, coming back inside, looking for a grounder to Shore, and he lost it through the legs of Tyga Shore. That was a nice ball from Jacobson. He couldn't quite capitalize, the sophomore Tyga Shore.
We see here, like, the perfect placement of that ball.
Right in stride for Shore.
Yeah, it looks like Tyga was trying to get ahead of the defense a little bit further, not expecting it to, be put as precisely as Jacobson did.
For the first time in a while, we're seeing Sedro upfield now, trying to get some offensive looks. Anacortes hasn't been defensively on its toes for a while. They've kept the ball on the positive side of the field, that being Sedro's side, for most of this second half of play. Now it's Barton making some cuts, looking for help from fellow defenders. McClellan will send a grounder up to Shore, who now defers to Noah. And it's Pinson on the sideline. He'll look for a through ball to Jacobson. Jacobson doesn't quite have enough speed.
Interesting play there by Woolley. That seemingly stopping it. I'm not sure whose foot that was, but that could very well have been left-right to Jacobson.
Now it's Pinson. Good clearance upfield from Woolley. McClellan will look back towards the midfield where Hunter gets it to Hawkins. Back to Hunter. And that one will be pretty easily scooped up by the keeper here. Once again, it's Hunter. Beautiful trap from Noah Hunter there. Caden Jacobson getting in a bit of a tussle there with Valdez Ramon.
Free kick here for Anacortes. This one closer to the middle, leaving, a wide goal opportunity. We're seeing the wall already forming there.
Santos, who quite possibly has the best leg on this team, looking to take this free kick. They might be trying to score off of this. We'll see. And that one a little far left, but had it been directionally centered, I think that would have gone in 9 times out of 10. The power that he brings on that shot is not only impeccable, but also seemingly effortless for him to bring that much force to the ball, which is impressive on a whole nother level.
He takes after his brother Jake, who used to play for the high school and is now actually playing for Skagit Valley College.
Well, there you go. Now Villegas on the far field. He'll cross in. And you're going to see a handball there.
That was huge. Well inside the box.
Clearly not a purposeful penalty for McClellan, but nevertheless an extremely costly one.
This could really be a game changer. We'll see how this plays out, but Anacortes, I'm sure, has their hearts in their throats right now.
This could be the momentum the Cubs need to really get themselves back into this game. If they can tie it up and bring it to a neutral playing field, they'll have a much better opportunity of taking the lead. Not only, literally speaking, but also from a mental standpoint. Tying this game, I think, would give them just the slightest edge. And this grounder is defended and blocked by Nelson. Good clearance from Barton, but my goodness, Nelson is ecstatic, and he has no reason to be other than completely energized from that. A beautiful save from Nelson. How many times in a high school soccer game are you going to see a missed penalty kick? It was a nice ball from Villegas, good grounder to the left side, but the athleticism of Nelson that we haven't really seen too much this season, really coming out in that play.
They defended the corner kick there as well, which is a combination of two things that's got to be leaving them feeling much better about their prospects.
So not quite a corner again for Sedro. It'll be a throw-in near that far right corner. And now a goal kick for, personally, my player of the second half at least. Maybe not player of the game yet, but that was the biggest statement made in the game so far. Obviously, Rutz had a really nice goal just 9 minutes into the game, but any goalie who can stop a penalty kick, especially in a pressure situation like that where it would be the tying one, has to get some credit.
As a high school offender on a PK, it's a little bit difficult to maintain your composure. You see a lot of them in the really young levels going, over and wide or right to the goalie. And as the players get older, it's easier to compartmentalize that. But when the odds are seemingly way in your favor, it's too easy to choke.
Matthew just couldn't quite get to that beautiful ball from Jacobson. That cross was rather magnificent. Now Hunter tussling it up with Parker Nelson, the freshman. He'll go down. And it looks as though a whistle will be blown. We'll see Ramon take this kick. As you see the hustle there from both players resulting in the free kick for Woolley, and this attempt from Sedro will go out of bounds once again, and a goal kick for Nelson. Now Hunter moving upfield. And Shore gets a quick turnaround, looking for Jacobson. As of now, Bats has the speed. But a throw-in will be given to the Seahawks here.
I'm sure you guys are sick of hearing it, but the rain has stopped. That'll be my last weather update unless it starts pouring again. But everybody's glad about that.
Nice grounder to Hawkins there. Still moving forward, tried to defer to Pinson. Couldn't quite get the backwards heel tap perfectly. Now Villegas chopping that one, possibly not the way he wanted to. James McClellan sailed that one well out of bounds. And Caden Todd will take this throw in.
We definitely see more Anacortes players in the backfield today, or not today, in the second half. There's been a lot more pressure from the Cubs with relatively equal possession time by each side. So hopefully Anacortes can hold them off, but we've seen a little bit of a change in pace here.
It's an interesting thing. Obviously, there's motivation for Sedro to score because they're down, but also after failing to capitalize on that PK, you can't help but think there's probably a little extra fire in them now, because that's a flag to them that, if we can't score with this, then we've got to score at some point to stay in this game. So, we might as well bring the pressure full storm here in the second half. We've got nothing to lose.
We're approaching 3/4 of the way here through the game, 23 minutes on the clock. And as you said, it's about time to capitalize, but it is also still anyone's ball game.
Now Noah's going to send this one far upfield for Pinson, but it's booted away quickly. Now Rutz looking for Barton and to James McClellan. Back to Rutz now. Setting their direction straight again. Wow, the comfort involved in that footwork from Aaron McClellan was a bit mesmerizing to watch. As now Hunter will look to Santos, who gets it to Lucas Hawkins. Not sure Pinson was ready for that one, but Jacobson sure is! And that one just far left once again. Jacobson. Tough shot there to try and take with the goalie coming right at him, and he took a toll on his body there.
Looks like it did on the goalie as well. We had the replay up on the screen, but Sedro's goalie was limping a little bit back to the goal. It looks like the full force of went straight into his ankle.
Trying to walk that off. And right towards the head of Hunter. Now Pinson with the setup. Looking for Noah. And Pinson again just far right this time. So Anacortes all of a sudden, seemingly out of nowhere, marched downfield and now has two really good shots under their belt in the last minute or so.
You see the offense doing a really great job with the close quarters passing that can absolutely get out of hand, but they seem to keep it under control fairly well.
Good header from Hawkins there. Really had to get up for that one. Now Pinson again in control here. Pinson muscling his way through defenders yet again. Now rushing to the outside to keep it in play for Anacortes upfield. Trying to cross his way, weaves it through the defenders. Now Hunter with the setup perfectly into the hands of the goalie there as he's limping a little bit still.
Looks like they may not have a backup, as he probably would have been subbed out if there was. Really is a shame when injury sort of plays into the game as it does.
Good cut back there from Barton. Seemed as though he knew Nelson was going to slide.
If there's one thing Connor Barton is, it is dependable, both on and off the field. You can rely on Connor Barton. Perfect place for a defender.
Nice move from Pinson, but it's read well there by the Sedro defender. Now it's Todd being challenged by Santos. And Rutz will get it back to Santos. The header to Jacobson. Defended well there by Monzo.
Again, we see Aiden seemingly not, well, maybe that is to us, but he doesn't, I believe, mean to hit people maliciously. He just is really focused on the ball, and it is a little bit irrelevant if there's anybody in the way.
The competitive spirit within Santos, at least in this game, has definitely trumped the
mass of the others.
Yeah, any care for bodily harm, whether it be himself or others. And as a teammate, you know, you've got to think that they're probably all for it, because that sort of love for the game and passion, regardless of putting your body in danger, is a true sign of love for the game and a need to win. And I think teammates of his would take that any day of the week, although coaches, parents, fans may hold a slightly different opinion. But from a player standpoint, having at least one of those sort of guys on your team, I don't think serves as a negative.
We see Lucas Hawkins back in play now. Him and Tiger Shore are working on the edges.
Pinson trying to work this upfield. Again, gets it to the middle between two defenders. That's the second time he's pulled that move on the Cubs' back four. And this time that initial touch from Hunter just too strong and sent it out of bounds to set up a goal kick here from Monzo and the Cubs.
I'm starting to wonder if Noah Hunter plays where he does purely to receive the goal kicks, because he's so consistent with his traps. He almost always maintains control rather than just deflecting it back towards the Sedro defense.
Now in the middle, it's Pinson who will look to Hawkins. He's going to switch fields to Santos. Does he have the speed? For now, he does, trying to get it past. Good defense played there by Todd.
Not sure if that one is a corner. Oh, and it looks to be.
So this will be Jacobson taking the corner kick. The junior has served a prominent role, particularly in the second half, for creating offensive looks for Anacortes. And now trying to create one more. And he'll just ground this to Pinson, who will send it straight back to him.
They must have practiced that at some point, because every corner opportunity that they've taken is the close in and then bounced back to the person taking it.
I have to doubt that the conclusion of that play was planned.
No, I don't think so.
But you can't blame him, because as we talked about earlier, and I hate to bring it back up the rain, but that calls for a slippery field, especially on turf. It's hard not to slip at least once when it's been raining so heavily for that long. But hopefully that will be the only deflated offensive play for the Seahawks because of the weather.
Perhaps later on we'll get to see the end of whatever that corner kick strategy is. My theory is that they're just getting it in a little bit closer, and that 1-2 is followed by a boot into the box, but we'll never know. Or at least we don't yet know.
Santos trying to fight off multiple Sedro players. For now, he is rolling through at least 4 of them on that affair.
It looks like we might have a card here.
That'll be a yellow card against Santos, I believe. That would be my first
I think that's a safe bet.
The Sedro player had to shake it off a little bit there. And now the praise I was giving Santos earlier for his aggressive nature is beginning to backfire as we see the card pulled out from the ref there. I would call that a good call. I think at some point a line has to be drawn as we see the freshman, the only freshman starter for the Seahawks coming in. That's Wolfie Stroshine. Not the only freshman on the team, but
looks like the Sedro player went up for a header there, but maybe jumped higher than he realized he could.
And again, it's Hawkins looking for Stroshine, and they're going to keep this with Anacortes as we see Dawson Mills coming out now for Parker Nelson. That's the Sedro freshman coming in.
Free kick for Sedro here.
Looks to be the case. Jacob Jefferson. Rather, Max Porter. Excuse me, Jay Monzo to take this one.
Both captains sporting their pink stripes there.
Indeed. And probably not the trap Andrew Batts wanted there. On the other side of the field is now Tiger Shore has possession. And the grounder.
That's where that left foot on Caden Jacobson really shine. You saw Tiger there struggling a little bit to catch up to the ball enough to kick it, as he is normally a right-footed player.
Hawkins getting it back to Rutz, who looks now to Pinson.
Not sure if that's what he meant to do, but it sure looked cool.
And the shot from Pinson again, just far left. We've seen a handful of shots similar to the ones that followed the initial goal from Rutz in the first half. Over the span of this game, we've seen a lot of shots from the Seahawks that have been just far right, just far left. Just didn't have the angle. A lot of justifications, if you will. And now inside, Pinson can't control that one well enough to set up a score. But McClellan still holding possession here to his brother. And this time it's intercepted well by the Cubs. Moving forward now, Parker Nelson gets it to Emmett Mihalik. And Nelson again, he's just going to send this one up into the air, and that'll roll out of bounds. Goal kick up coming for the Seahawks.
Interestingly, we've seen Wolfie Stroshine play both, offensive wing on the left and right, and now defensive wing on the right. I think he's just trying for all four corners today. But he really is a well-rounded player.
No doubt, and he's got 3 more years to progress in this sport, which is really incredible to learn.
Nelson there opted for a deflection before catching it, which can be a safer strategy, especially when the ball and your gloves are a little bit soggy.
Hawkins, good cutback. He's going to chip this one up. Again, real close to making it into that net. Just wide right and possibly a little too high. The ball off of Hawkins' foot, but again, Anacortes continuing to create shots. And if Sedro doesn't have opportunities to score because Anacortes is keeping possession, then they'll have no way of winning this game. And I think right now that's Anacortes' strategy. Not so much focused on putting them in the net. I mean, obviously they'd like to, but really just keeping the goalkeeper and those back 4 Cubs on their toes for the remainder of this game.
Almost a direct shot from Connor Barton there, all the way from half field.
Now Villegas challenged by Stroshine. He'll get it back to McClellan, who will look inside to Rutz. Now Hawkins trying to switch fields, or rather set up a through ball to Pinson, but it's a little too high, a little too far. And the goalkeeper has it. Speaking of whom, seems to have recovered pretty well from whatever was bugging him, which is good to see.
Love to know his name, but the penny covers up his number, so it's hard to find on the roster.
Well, it is a process of elimination, technically, because there's only 2 players set up. As keepers, Pinson should be able to keep this in bounds. He will, just barely. Good save by Pinson. Now setting up Hunter. Couldn't get the touch necessary. Villegas had time to trap that one and boot it upfield well, which he did. And now Sedro in a position to possibly score here. Haven't seen a lot of number 11. That's Emmett Mihalik on that far side of the field here. I'm sure they'd love to get him a little more involved if it means that their offense can get rolling here in the late stages of this second half.
This looks to be Adrian Garcia coming back in for Wolfie Stroshine.
And now another tussle, this time initiated by Barton. Clearly accidental, but nevertheless bruising the Sedro Cub just a little bit there. Throw in for Woolley. Now McClellan will clear it. Excuse me, Barton. Getting those defenders, their chemistry is so fluid that you just don't even recognize their faces.
True,
at
we
some
need
points.
a name for all of them as a whole. They're sort of operate as one entity.
I feel as though we should just say the individual from the back four.
I do believe that's Aaron McClellan back there on the side. It's a little confusing because they have different numbers for home and away.
This is true.
And that is the furthest player from us.
Which, from our entitled perspective up here in the booth, is kind of a hassle to remember.
It is.
But we're not the ones doing the athletics out here. Aiden Pinson got a little ahead of himself. And from the 18-yarder, tried to put that one in the net. A little high. As we see Baumgartner now trotting onto the field to take Pinson out and give him a little rest. He's played supremely well here in the second half of play.
Immediately jumping into action. She's the first to touch the ball.
Rutz hustles on that one and gets shoved hard by the Sedro player. Now it's Villegas. He'll send a left one, and it's in the corner. He's excited about that. Why wouldn't he be? Good Lord. The junior Josiah Villegas has tied up the game. We're now sitting at 6 minutes and 15 seconds, folks. What a shot from Villegas. Pretty far outside off the left foot.
It really does happen that fast. Fast. That's the word I was looking for. We were playing a whole different soccer game 30 seconds ago. Now, Anacortes is feeling just as much pressure as Sedro, and we're likely to see game pace pick up immensely here because go for it.
Sorry to cut you off there, but Hawkins just immediately tried to kind of pull off a similar play there, actually. Unfortunately, his roll's too far left rather than getting into the corner as Villegas' did. But Anacortes coming full force here yet again. Now it's Hawkins. Sliced and diced his way through at least 3 defenders there. Now looking for a cross. Garcia can't quite get there in time. And you've got to think a whole new sort of tone has been set after that goal that not only flashes reality for Anacortes that they are in danger of losing this game if they can't put it in the net again.
We've seen 75 minutes. No, that's wrong. 65 minutes of this 80-minute game sitting at that 0-1 position, and so now the urgency is real as this is anyone's match. And Sedro-Woolley hasn't had a tie yet. Neither, I believe, has Anacortes. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think that's what either of them are looking for.
No, absolutely not. Now Dylan Thomas in on that far side. So you're seeing, unlikely that viewers at home can hear the fans out here, but now the Sedro player, or the Sedro fans rather, starting to chant a little louder as this game has become a serious possibility to take home as a win.
Oh my goodness. That looked from here like it could be going into the goal.
Couldn't quite take advantage of that. Mihalik tried to send that one from far out.
We see Caleb Nelson there getting out of position as for the first time tonight he's really had to start to scramble. We've said it before and we'll say it again. It's a whole different mentality going on right here.
Definitely.
We'll have to come up with a new word every time we say it.
And that looks to be a dirty slide from Hawkins. They will, in fact, card him with his back turned to the ref. So he'll have to get subbed out. That's a big blow for the Seahawks. He is easily one of their best players. And he's the stronghold of that midfield. Of course, the man coming in for him is really nothing less than that. Aiden Pinson, who's been a star in this game. Not technically from the perspective of, scoring or anything like that, but he's played really well. Now it's on Anacortes' defense to try and keep Villegas or any other Cub outside of that net. So far, so good. Although it will be a throw-in for the Cubs. Down to stoppage time. Here we go. Sedro in position to come up with something.
We see their defense all the way up the field. There is nobody on the back half because they know if they're going to do something, it's got to be now.
Neither team, I would assume, wants to go to overtime. Right now, the advantage has to go to Sedro-Woolley as they're down on Anacortes' side of the field.
Huge throw in there.
Baumgartner trying to blast that one upfield. And it's Dylan Thomas on the far sideline looking to come up with something. Now Rutz. And the rejection from the Sedro player sends it out of bounds for a throw-in from McClellan. And
we'll
practically the same situation. There you go. Aaron McClellan. He'll toss this one in. It's Baumgartner. Now Rutz trying to switch fields here. He will. And Hunter looking for Garcia. Couldn't quite get a foot on it. Just ahead of Garcia. Throw in for Sedro. Todd will huck this one far for Villegas, but it's met by the head of Hunter. Now Barton having to chase this one down as Nelson brings it back upfield. Good header to stop possible opportunity for Pinson. And once again, Nelson coming well out of the box to get that one back upfield.
The speed of play seemingly continues to accelerate as nobody's really sure how much time is left now. Yeah, we've seen Nelson out of the box, lots of ping pong soccer back up down the field.
Good header from Hunter. Baumgartner trying to work here. Hunter gets it to Thomas. Looking back inside, Pinson now really hustling towards the sideline. Saved it for a moment, but now it's out of bounds. Goal kick. He thought that one was still in play.
Everyone on the benches here is standing up. We've got lots of anticipation. There have been plenty of goal attempts from either side in the last couple minutes.
Sedro possibly with one more opportunity, but Nelson, again, like you said, this ping pong soccer, just a blast upfield from Sedro, but their players aren't there quick enough to stop Nelson from sending it back the other way, where a similar strategy takes place on behalf of the Cubs defense. Now it's Jacobson. And towards the midfield, a little bit of miscommunication, but it's back to the Seahawks again. Hunter chips it to Jacobson. Beautiful ball from Hunter. And the clearance from Manzo will set up Jacobson with a throw-in. You've got to think that clock's been at 2 minutes solid for a while now. Of course, viewers can't see it, but we've got a clear picture. This stoppage time is winding down for sure.
Another massive throw in from Jacobson.
Crowded in the box. And that one way too high.
Unfortunately, we aren't counting field goals tonight, as we would have 2 of those, but only 1 into the soccer net.
Well, this is football, just not American.
Indeed it is. Interestingly, taking their time there with the goal kick, not sure if Sedro is trying to just hold the tie, but that seems unlikely, as they certainly could take the win.
Now in the midfield, it's Rutz alongside Jacobson. And that'll be the final whistle. So this...
That was anything but what we were expecting.
Do we wrap up now? I don't want to say that the game's over.
Oh, we did make that mistake once before.
It's possible, although fans are leaving the stands rapidly. So it's likely that the game has concluded.
As there are ties on the record, it's seeming probable that they're just going to leave this one 1-1.
And as the scoreboard lights go out, that'll be confirmation that the game is over. It has resulted in a tie in favor of no one, as the 1-1 score lands both teams with their first ties of the season, in fact. Sedro has to be happy with that one.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't a victory, but with a 1-8 record, a tie is pretty good. Anacortes, I'm sure, is a little frustrated. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll come back for a breakdown.
The Action Club is a Kiwanis club for adults with disabilities. Every second Saturday of every month, you can head to the Port of Anacortes web lockers at Seafarers Way and Q Avenue. Once there, you can recycle your computers, monitors, laptops, tablets, Kindles, portable DVD players, e-readers, and televisions. The money we collect during the e-cycle is used in several ways to benefit community service projects.
Thank you, Anacortes.
Bringing you back to the booth here to discuss very exciting game, particularly in the second half. Late in that affair, Sedro's Josiah Villegas was able to tie the game and put Sedro in a position to possibly win. Of course, it concluded with the tie, as has been mentioned far too many times at this point. But again, a great showing from the Cubs.
We kind of had a mirror image of a game split at the halftime. We had an early goal in Anacortes, starting with a resounding lead and sort of tapering off. And as the second half progressed, Sedro just became more and more in control of the ball, culminating in their goal in the last half.
The strategy involved in Sedro's ball movement, I think, definitely took a turn for the better in that second half of play. They started opening up their passing lanes a lot like Anacortes had been doing in the first half when they were able to take a 1-0 lead. In the first half, Sedro was doing a lot of blasting the ball and just hoping for the best up the field. But they started to sort of develop a concrete system, and eventually it played into their hand quite well.
It really did. And once again, interesting outcome for tonight. Everybody's taken off, and we won't keep you for too long. But that was quite a game, and we'll see you for the next one.